Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. Well, y'all know who talking. But over there, sitting for me is one of the most gifted millennials in the city of Shreveport. Right now, y'all know this your boy Rob Thomas Jr., the real news behind the news, and we here at the headquarters for Daryl Walters, candidate for state representative, District 3. How you doing, Ms. Walters?
I'm good. How are you, Rob?
I'm blessed. And again, I'm grateful that you took the time to sit with us here at the Real News Behind News. We really feel honored. That lets us know that you aware of what we try to do.
Sure.
And we're aware of what you try to do. That's why we're here to talk to you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to get right off into it because I know you're a very busy lady. We want you to just go ahead and give us an introduction of yourself. Tell us who you are, why you're running for this office, and some of the things that you've already done to let the people know that you don't just talk about it, you be about it. And I know that for a fact, but I want you to give the people an idea of why you do what you do.
Sure thing. So good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to listen to me and about my platform. I am Daryl Joy Walters, a runoff candidate for State Representative District 3. So that is Hollywood Heights, Moortown, Cedar Grove, Eden Garden, Pine Valley, Sunset Acres. That's Lynbrook, Greenbrooks, Valley View, Buncombe Road. And I am young, I'm energized, and I am ready to work for the citizens of District 3 in Baton Rouge. And I've already done work in the state legislature, so I know the language. I know everything from language, the good side of language, the bad side of language, because you can change one word that would change the whole meaning to the text. And I'm ready to fight for the people of Shreveport because it's about time that we get the money that we are due. The money is there, and we need living wage here in Shreveport. We need crime prevention in Shreveport. And we just need all around help, and we need to have the resources. And so I'm ready to be that voice. I've already been a voice for so many, serving on the Democratic State Central Committee for several years. And I'm just ready to get into it. Thank you again for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
Well, to me, I'm more honored and humbled because, again, evidently you realize the voice that we have in the community.
Absolutely.
And what I try to get the people in the community to understand is that if a candidate like Daryl Joy sits down with us at the Real News Behind News, once she gets in the office, that means the people who follow us at the Real News Behind News will have a voice because we will have access to her. We will be able to talk to her, and tell her your concern. But not only that, this young lady I've seen with my own eyes, she gets out and walks amongst the people. How can you understand what the people are saying unless she walks amongst them? And so that's another reason why we're here to support you, because we've seen some of the things you've done. Briefly, a few of the things you just mentioned when your work in the legislature. What are some of the things that you advocated for and you've seen some success, or some things that might not have been successful, but you would advocate for again?
Sure. So when I worked in the legislature, I was 16 years old, Rob, and Bobby Jr. was the governor.
Oh, my God.
So, yes.
I know where that's going to go.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, Louisiana, including District 3, and really just every district in the state, has seen some of its worst and darkest days. And TOPS funding had been slashed. It had been cut so much to where students could not really maintain going to school in Shreveport as far as college education without having a whole bunch of debt. So they had to go to Texas or Florida or wherever because the money was not there. And so I fought for TOPS then, fighting for it now. It's a lot better than it was, of course, because along with the governor's surplus that he has, TOPS funding did come back and it's fully funded. But now who gets TOPS is questionable because only 230 students inside of District 3 qualify for TOPS. And we know that we are graduating way more than 230 students in District 3. And so that's something that I fought for then, fighting for now. The gender pay gap as far as equality when it comes to women's and equal rights. So meaning if I'm doing the same job that a man is doing, I deserve equal pay. And right now women make 49 cents, or black women make 49 cents to the dollar that a man, or white man rather, makes. And we know that that is not sustainable at all, because women, a lot of women, are the heads of their households, provided for more than one child. And we know the detriment that is if you are making 49 cents to the dollar that a white male makes. We know that is detrimental. We do know that has consequences, unfortunately. And so our children are the ones who go without, and that's unfair. It's unfair to them on all levels. So I fought for those things then, and nothing will change. That will go on even now. And I have a good rapport and working relationship with our governor to actually see those things through.
Well, again, you just mentioned education. I know that you've done a lot with education. Tell us what could you do as a district representative to bring resources and finances here to the schools in your district? How would you work with the state, the parish, and then the city to bring better education and funding for education to the children in your district?
Sure. So the good thing about education is that it's funded on more levels than one. So yes, we do have a school board that funds majority, basically every school in the district. Then you have the state that funds every school in the state, and then on the federal level we also see that there is funding available. So I will work with members of our Bessie board. I'll work with Senator Tarver and whomever else to make sure that we can get what we need from the state and bring those resources back to District 3. So if that is, making sure that our teachers have another pay raise, then that's what it means. If that means, making sure that we find a grant to have central heating that works in the wintertime at our schools, then that's what that means. If that means starting, an initiative that is more grassroots, where we do big coat drives and sock drives and etc. to, make sure that our students are taken care of, or maybe we provide lunches, so many times out of every year for our students. Whatever it takes, we are willing to meet the needs of the students and even of the staff, because a lot of times our teachers have their hands full and our administrators, they have their hands full. And so it takes all of us coming together and working together. It takes the school board members, it takes the city council, state representatives and legislators, it takes Bessie board members and the governor. It takes everybody coming together to make sure that District 3 is solid and has a sure foundation. And it even takes the citizens of District 3, by all means. I have an open door policy. You can come in, at any time. You can feel free to walk in at any time. We're here from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And so whether, your child has an issue, if we can't do anything about it here, we can definitely refer you to maybe your child is being bullied, and what can we help you to do about your child being bullied, just things of that nature. So we are here, and we are all about the resources, and we're all about supporting and supplying those things for the betterment of our people.
That's great. I noticed we got a lot of people watching right now live. Y'all shouldn't be on your lunch break doing this, but we're glad that y'all are watching us while y'all on lunch break. If y'all have a few questions before we end this video that you'd like to ask Ms. Joy, hey, y'all chime in.
Hit us up.
I want to ask you something that's real important right now in my heart and in the hearts of quite a few real grassroots activists here. And that is, with the recent shootings this year of black men here in Shreveport, a lot of people don't realize we've had 4 black people killed here by the Shreveport Police Department. A couple of those people, like myself and others, think were questionable. But you as a representative can help us get legislation put forth to hold the police accountable. Of course, we as black people, we have to be accountable for our actions. Don't go waving no gun or knife at the police. But when the police does something that we feel is, above the law, we feel that there's a need for a citizens review board. How can you help us if you get into that office about that? Because we do believe that all across the country, we know that police killing our people is a problem. And here in Shreveport, we had legislation proposed before, but it never went nowhere. What could you do to help us really fight for that and get that passed?
Sure. So I would say this, Rob, citizen review boards are the current way to hold those who are police and what have you accountable. And so it's not to say, oh, all police are bad or what have you, all sheriffs are bad. It's not to do anything of that nature. I just saw in Little Rock, Arkansas, their mayor has a citizen review board that he just implemented, and he took office probably like less than a year ago. And so there are several models of a citizen review board. And so I do not think that that's a bad thing at all. It is well needed. Here in Shreveport, we do see statistically where police are killing black and brown bodies, and that is one of the leading causes in young black deaths, and that is statistically proven. That's not Daryl Joy talking. You can actually go Google and you can look it up and get reputable citations, and whether you choose to believe it or not is on you. But nevertheless, I would encourage the city council members that have corresponding districts, hey, we do need a citizen review board. This is something that is great, all across the board, because this body is, made up of and comprised of just like non-biased opinion. And so it's no more than what a jury is to someone maybe who is going through a current trial. And again, it's not to say, oh, the police, is bad, or, oh, it's not necessarily blanket like that. It's more so this is the case that happened, and this is how we suggest that this person on the force is handled. Maybe they have leave with no compensation,
exactly,
or what have you. And so
thinking.
Again, those things, citizen review board specifically, that's normal. That's not anything new. Citizen review boards have gone on in other cities for quite some time. And now I don't know how people go about selecting all the different selection processes that would include, but I do know it also provides transparency for our people. And I have been out there, on Kennedy Street when the young man, Anthony Childs, was killed. I heard the gunshots. I live in Hollywood Heights. I heard the gunshots sitting at home. I didn't know what happened, but by the time I went to my Facebook to kind of see what went on, they said, oh, someone was killed. And so what did I do? I got in my car. I went down there, and I stood. Lester was there, and we, stood and prayed with the family and talked to them and whatnot. And so I am all about just that accountability factor. It's not a bad thing, and I don't think that it should be. It should not be thought of as such.
Well, not putting you on the spot, but I want to piggyback off of this question that we just asked, because you being in the position that you will be a state representative, you will be able to help us in certain ways to deal with this crime here in Shreveport. Now, we have an administration right now that's saying that crime is down, but they're using numbers that's generated to get the results they want, because anybody with common sense to know that of course, your crime is going to be down over the last 8 years because you got people moving away from here in droves. That's not saying that the criminals are moving away, because the criminals are still here. You just have less people that report crimes now because it's become such an epidemic that it's almost, we're numb to it. What would you do to be able to help the Shreveport City Police and Caddo Parish Sheriff? Because right now the sheriff is like acting as if he's absent in the crime situation that's going on in Shreveport. But hey, this is part of his district. But you'll be a representative for a big portion of the city. What do you see that you can do to bring truth to the real crime numbers, but most importantly, help us find solutions to the crime problem?
Sure. The data that they are looking at suggests that non-violent crime is down, and it's the lowest that it's ever been in our city. But in terms of violent crimes, so violence, such things as like gun violence, robbery, I'm just trying to name like everything that I guess is considered a violent crime. Those things
rape,
are
assault,
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those things
hitting
are
Negroes in the head with a brick,
Right.
So stuff we see in the hood every day, but they telling us crime is down.
Yeah, those things are at an all-time high, and so I would be willing to work with the city councilman. I know he proposed a piece of legislation that allow for the armed forces to come into the district, or District F. We have a corresponding district in District F and whatnot, but it didn't necessarily mean that crimes were not committed, because they still were. And so I think also just bridging the gap between police and over policing and actually protecting and serving, from the police department to the sheriff's department, and sitting with the chief of the police department, and sitting with Sheriff Prater, and just saying, hey, District 3 has basically the number one crime.
I live in District 3 and it's bad over here. It's bad.
And so, what can we do to bridge that gap collectively, without people feeling like, without them feeling cast out, or even without the excessive force of the police, meaning, just those mishap mistakes. Robert has his phone out and I thought it was a gun. Right. Yeah, well, the cell phone, he had a cell phone out and I thought it was a gun. Well, it's a cell phone. It has a light on it, and etc. And so anyway, just making sure that we're intentional about the approach to crime. And then also, Robert, I will say that crime has a lot to do with the lack of economic development, which is a huge issue. And you can bring jobs all day, but we also have to have workforce development. Workforce development, meaning that I have been trained in welding and I have the skills to go and work at XYZ company that is coming to Shreveport, or that is in Shreveport. And so I believe that we have a few things that we can do to combat crime. And we have to be intentional on how we combat crime. And we also have to create relationships with people, because the people committing crimes, they're somebody's sons, they're somebody's daughters, etc. And we have to get an understanding of, hey, man, why you do this? Or, hey, why did you go and fight her? Like, what is actually going on? And when you're out there, with the people and have a heart for the people, then you can properly bring the people's voice to those powers that be and get things done.
Well, let me ask you a question. People like me, myself, I do believe that we as a community have to work in conjunction with law enforcement at some point, because we do understand that all law enforcement officers aren't racist or on steroids or getting DWIs like we've seen here in Shreveport lately, but we do have a few. But how would you be willing to work with community activists who are saying that, hey, what if we do stuff like put more cameras in our neighborhood and actually get neighborhood watches that really work, as opposed to people just watching the crime continue? What's your take on neighborhood policing, and how could you be effective in as a state representative to help bring funds to help us police our own community? So again, we won't have to have such a heavy police force in our neighborhoods. Bringing education and awareness is part, but what could you do?
Sure. So there are grants that are out there on the state level. And so I want to make sure that our community activists that are out there doing the work have access to those grants, and that the way that the grant is really written is acceptable and provides funding so that we can see cameras in the neighborhoods that, are just keeping watch and what have you. And so, again, I am willing to bring, for the knowledge of grants and the knowledge of, seminars that, are going on across the country, because this isn't just a Shreveport issue. This is a United States epidemic going on. And so I'm willing to work with anybody to do what we have to do. I happen to be at the Zydeco. I love the Zydeco. So in case you don't know, that's my thing. It's a Louisiana thing. That's my thing. And so I happened to be at the Zydeco one night, and just so happened my neighbor, he called and said, Daryl Joy, about what time are you coming home, because they're shooting, and the bullets, they went over your house, they went over mine, and then they went over my nephew. And I said, okay, well, I'm not coming home until a little bit later tonight. Thank you for telling me. And we live in Hollywood Heights, backed up to the ditch by the Illinois projects, and something was happening back there. And those same people, once they left out of the ditch right by my house, they went to CNC Grocery and settled and did whatever they had to do. But that is getting old, and we are all growing tired because we can't go out and attract business and attract industry and attract resources, and we are still getting the same result. And so, we have to, before people even commit the crimes, we even have to get to their hearts before then, and get to their minds before then, and let them know, like, hey, somebody cares about you. Is there another way that you can settle this? Is there another way that you can take care of this? And so we have to be willing to help our people come out of bondage, and that's why I'm grateful for you and the Real News Shreveport and what you do, because you enlighten our people on another level, and you're always out there. Like, we don't have to question whether you're going to be there or on the scene. You're there, and that's what I appreciate about you most. And so I want to verbalize that and say thank you for that. And again, thank you, for everybody tuning in. I'm fortunate that people are watching, and no doubt about it, we can just all work together, because it's not always one thing that you can do. It has to be a chain of things that lead up to the big, common denominator.
Okay, you stated earlier in this video your district, what it encompasses. We want to, we have a lot of people watching this, and so far we didn't have the video been shared 5 or 6 times, and the numbers go up and down, because again, we're at the time where people are at work and at lunch, but you can tell this video is going to go big. But again, I want you to name the areas that encompasses your district, and I want the people, when you hear whatever part of town that she named that you live in, it's not so much as just watching this video and then sharing it, but it's about actually getting out and helping get people to understand the importance of voting for this young lady, or whoever you choose to vote for. But they gonna say we biased, but who we gonna vote for. But what is the importance of people in the neighborhoods that you're about to name getting out there and actually vote? Because people not understanding. Donald Trump will be here in a couple of days. He's gonna be campaigning for Republican change. And if we don't get the right people in office by getting out there and vote, we can look for a lot of spending cuts, stuff like food stamp, Medicaid, housing. So again, name the districts that you're going to be running for, so we can get those people in that district to understand how important it is to come out and vote.
Sure, I would say this: elections have consequences. And one thing that you can count on when you elect me is that, I'm real. I don't have a reason to, run and hide. Again, we have an open door policy. You can pull up at any time. If you can't come to me, I can come to you. And we will be having plenty of town hall meetings and discussions. So it won't be, I take office and you don't see me. You only see me at events. No, you will know exactly what's going on as far as concerns, state concerns. And District 3 encompasses Morningside, Kettle Heights, Cedar Grove, Lynbrook, Greenbrook, Moortown, Hollywood Heights, Buncombe Road.
Warner Park also?
Warner Park, yes.
What about, does it include Ingleside area?
No, it doesn't include Ingleside.
Okay.
Like, no Ingleside, no Queensboro, no Lakeside.
But even y'all over there in those areas, go vote. Tell people, and how important it is to vote. 'Cause you might have cousins live in Warner Park, Lakeside, Motown, Cedar Grove, whatever. So it is important. Well, Miss Joy, I know you're very busy. We're gonna wrap this interview up. It seems like everybody that's commented already saying they're gonna vote for you.
Thank you.
I was hoping they would have questions, but hey, I know she's very happy for that. Quickly in these last few seconds, tell everybody again why it is that you feel they should vote for you, and what makes you the best candidate for this office.
Sure. Well, what makes me the best candidate, and only knowing about myself, is that I'm real. And I have gone through the stint of having a house broken into. I've gone through not having a job and being qualified before. I have lived and been where my people are. And so I am the right decision on November the 16th. Daryl Joe Walters, State Representative, District 3. I will not let you down. I mean, again, I'm an open book. You can always come dialogue with me. We're going to get straight to business. It's not about a title and running around Shreveport smiling and not doing the work. No, we are doing the work, and we're ready, and we're going to keep doing the work. And so again, I thank you so much. I thank you, for your time, just coming and doing this interview. It means a whole lot to me. And so no matter who you are, you have a voice as far as it concerns me. You can always, come to me, reach out to me. I take meetings with any and everybody, so you don't have to feel like, oh, she is not willing to meet with me. I'm willing to meet with everybody. So again, my name is Daryl Joe Walters. I'm number 86 on your ballot. The election is November the 16th. Early voting has started. If you prefer to early vote, get out there now and early vote. And if you want to just wait until election day, pull number 86. And again, I am Daryl Joe Walters. Thank you.
Hey, there y'all have it. Hey, I'm just be real. I'm throw my little 2 cents in it. I've seen this young lady over the last few years go hard in the paint. Hey, it's your choice, it's your vote. All we can say is vote. But if you really want somebody who's going to be able to help the neighborhood, who's going to be able to help make things actually more accessible to you, this is a great option for you to choose. Again, we thank you so much, Ms. Walters, for allowing us to come here. And to everybody out there, thank y'all for y'all love and support. This your boy Rod Thomas Jr. He said, until y'all hear me or see me on another one of these videos, y'all be blessed.